Hey Virgo, I'm Empress Rose. Welcome to your tarot reading. These are general readings, so take what works, leave what doesn't. If I don't catch your wavelength or storyline on this reading, you're welcome to go check your other major placements. If I do catch your wavelength or storyline on this reading, you can go join me over on Vimeo for an extended reading if you want. But otherwise, let's just get started here with the regular, more traditional tarot spread with a traditional tarot deck. Over on the extended, we'll be doing the more oracle deck stuff. So cutting the deck here. At the bottom, we have strength, perseverance, sticking with something, even though it's hard, confusing, difficult, not giving up, not giving in, tapping into that inner strength. Okay, this sounds, we love situations that cause us to tap into our inner strength. They're always fun. All right, Virgo, this is your past, your present, your inner landscape. What's at issue? Environment, to-do list, possible outcome. Okay. In your recent past, you have the Fool card. You wanted to start a new journey, a new trip. Something caught your eye that was interesting and fascinating. This card specifically, hold on. All right, so the Fool card. This one takes place in pre-dawn hours, so it is already a new day. We just haven't seen it yet. The sun hasn't come up yet, but it is sort of technically a new day. So where in the past you have been looking at the future. Your little heart wanted to go. There was some danger, right? You're right on a cliff here. It's not, and it's dark, and you're thinking about heading out in the dark. But this is the beginning. This is the beginning of a new journey, a new path, and this is looking at the path ahead of you, thinking about it, anticipating the thrills and chills and spills before you on this new, as you embark on this new journey. She's got her own little drum out here. She's listening to her own heartbeat, her own heart, the beat of her own. She's listening to the beat of her own drummer, I guess. So yeah, the Zero card, the beginning a new journey, beginning the hero's journey. So you've already begun something. Something's already underfoot and underway. And in your current situation, you have King of Cups. So you have a person here. This could be you, or this could be somebody else. This could be male or female or non-binary. It just represents a person. These are sort of my paper dolls. The court cards are the paper dolls, or the trading cards, the baseball trading cards. So this is an expert. This is a seasoned, a veteran of emotional. Of emotions. This king depicts emotional maturity, emotional stability in the midst of a storm, and ability to handle a lot of shifting tides, a lot of a storm, right? The winds and the waves and all of that come through our emotions. They're able to handle that, not by controlling them. This King of Cups isn't necessarily controlling anything, but they're able to process it. They have a good emotional digestive tract, and they are able to eliminate the waste and make use of the good emotions. They can sort through those. And emotions are information coming in, information just like eyes, senses, whatever. Some of it's painful, almost painful information is just as important as pleasant information, but we're processing that and figuring out what to do with all of that information that comes in through our emotions. So this is a master. This is a teacher. This could be a leader in some kind of field who is very emotional, or does lead from a depth of emotion, but there's emotional maturity. They don't go flying off the handle. They don't they don't manipulate. They are emotionally mature. So it could be you really developing that and really focusing on your own emotional maturity, your own ability to handle all of the emotional aspects coming at you. Or it could be someone in your life right now who is showing a lot of emotional leadership, is able to be very calm in the midst of a pretty overwhelming storm that would overwhelm many other people. But this is a master. a veteran player here in the world of emotions. What's on your mind, your hopes, your fears, your inner landscape is this Hanged Man. You're thinking about, there's just a sense of, well, I always, now that I've seen the Cullinane's deck, Guardians of the Night, I just see a possum here playing dead. Some sort of situation is playing dead. It's not dead, but it is having a bit of a timeout. It got sent to its room, or you're thinking about a situation that needs to be sent to its room. I was always sent to my room to think about what I'd done. So that's a lot of the hangman energy here. Is sent to its room to think about what happened, what's been done. So there's a situation that you're either hoping will go on pause, needs to be on pause for a little while longer for your benefit, or you're afraid of the pause. You're worried about the pause. You're worried about what is being thought about and considered during the pause. These might not even be your thoughts. These might be someone else's thoughts that you're wondering what they might be thinking. Because the Hanged Man, all the blood is rushing to his head. So it's usually about like, something happened. How do I get out of this situation? How did I get in this situation? How do I never get into this situation again? All during the pause, right? We have one pause card that's about just napping, resting, recuperating, rejuvenating. This pause card is about thinking a lot about about what happens. It kind of is part judgment, part Four of Swords. So we have the pause, but the pause is also about thinking and understanding what went on, what went down. So you could be, the whole situation could be in a Hanged Man situation, incomplete, paused, playing dead, and your mind is just full of swirling with, with blood, with like what happened, what's going on, how did this get here? How can it be fixed? What am I going to do once this situation releases? It is typically the Hanged Man is an external situation. It's not a chosen pause. It's an imposed pause. So it could be someone else having paused something, or just the situation itself is being put on pause, put on hold. What's at issue here is the Sun card. There's just not a lot of clarity here. There might not even be a lot of growth. Something may not be growing. Something's still kind of in the dark. Like we started this journey in the dark and the sun has yet to come out yet. So we're still kind of thinking and wanting to move forward, but the sun's not up, so we can't really see where we're going yet. We're moving forward on an adventure. We've already embarked on it. We've already started this adventure, this new journey in life, but we just can't see. And then this with this Hanged Man too is just, there's some, they're just both about naked here. So there's just this it's like a journey in the dark still, and which almost makes it more treacherous. We're trying to understand here. We're trying to understand something, and then here we're also getting a not understanding something, not seeing something. There's something that's just still in the dark. You can't see it. There's not been growth in the situation. Maybe you've grown emotionally, but the situation hasn't grown at all, hasn't moved at all. There's just still this pause here going on. So there's a lack of clarity, a lack of growth, a lack of movement. There's also, since the Sun card is the happiest card in the deck, there could be some depression, some inner darkness, some sadness, a lack of happiness. So whatever that means to you, either depression or anger or sadness, but it's not a happy situation. Well, of course it's not. We saw this with the Strength card. Anytime the Strength card shows up, it's like, well, this is not going to be fun, because the Strength card is about having to persevere, even though you're not necessarily feeling it, even though you're not feeling inspired to persevere. And this is a situation that doesn't have a lot of joy, happiness, or clarity in it. It's just kind of, it's still in the dark. Everything's still in the dark. And with the Hanged Man here, it looks like you started something, but it's not moving, and it's still in the dark. We haven't seen the dawn. We haven't actually seen the journey unfold. We're still kind of fumbling around in this dark, trying to understand what got paused before it even got started, really. Like, we just started something and then it's just not, there's either not movement, or we're worried about the lack of movement. We're thinking about the lack of movement. And the Sun card too, just no growth here. What's in your environment? I always feel like tarot cops out when this one shows up in the environment, but we'll talk about it. It's the World card. Things are changing, things are shifting. The whole world really is shifting pretty quickly these days. I don't know, I've never lived in another era, but it seems like it's pretty fast. It could just be the news that makes it seem fast, or the, you know, social media 24-hour news cycle seems to make everything feel like it's moving quickly. But the World card also, this particular one also depicts a sanctuary, a safety. I want to say something in the womb, not yet born, and that safety. Something's being kept safe while a lot of stuff shifts around. The World card is the final card in the deck, so maybe there's an ending here. It also talks about the movements through our lives of the history, geology, weather, planets, the seasons, all these things that we just can't change, and we have no, we don't have much effect over. You know, like the seasons. We've got axial tilt. What are you going to do about axial tilt? What are you going to do about the rotation of the planet? What are you going to do about the orbit? You know, nothing. It just is. It is what it is. And so there's always a sense with the world of like just these larger cycles taking place. And then the world also is an ending, and a pretty big ending. And you're kind of right where you started again. You're kind of right back at the beginning. So the World card can be having completed a large cycle. And the World card to me is often like closing the book on something. What's interesting is you have both the first and the last here. You have a beginning and standing right over an ending, the 0 and the final card, the first card and the final card in the major arcana. And then you have this like hanged man and lack of clarity. So does something end before it even begins? Or did you start something and it's on pause until the book is closed? Like, you started a new book, but actually you stopped reading the new book because you had to finish the old book, the book you were reading before you started reading the new book. So so this is a chapter ending. It's external. It's happening in your life somehow, but it's not necessarily something you're doing or accomplishing. It's just kind of something is coming to a close here. Externally, either that, or it's just talking about those external movements that you just don't have much say over. But there is a sense of protection within this. There's something being kept safe through this ending, by this ending. And then here's where your Strength card also comes in here. Your to-do list is to handle it, juggle some stuff, right? We've got like the same ships over here that showed up in this King of Cups, the same sort of emotionally intense situation that somebody here is being able to maintain their cool and calm and their Zen-like attitude while processing their emotions. They're not shutting the emotions down. I think that can look the same externally to people not, you know, intimately part of someone's life. It can having a Zen attitude and being mature and maturely processing emotions. Those can kind of look the same, but the internal process is very different. You know, one is, I think I maybe misspoke there, but one is, you know, we're tamping down the emotions, and it might look like being very Zen when in fact it is like refusing and shutting down emotions. This King of Cups is very Zen, is experiencing a lot of emotional tumult, and is handling it maturely. So this is again handling something in your reality maturely. This is dealing with juggling some things, maybe negotiating some things, maybe a bunch of things requiring your time and energy, and you need to be able to, you need to have the strength, both inner strength, you need to have the inner strength and inner peace to be able to handle these things, because we have in the background this emotional tumult again. So Two of Coins is usually pretty precarious. It's negotiating trying to find time for different things. There's a lot on your plate, and this is like, you can handle this. Okay, there's a lot. You have a lot going on right now, is what the Two of Coins always talks about, is you have a lot going on. You're juggling a lot right now. And you can, and the Strength card is like, you're going to have to handle this. You're developing the emotional maturity to be able to handle all this. Sometimes this looks to me like, oh yes, I love it. A beginning and an ending, and they may be overlapping, and you may be having to deal with two jobs at the same time, two obligations at the same time. You're having to juggle two things. And they pertain possibly to this beginning and ending, and there might be some overlap where you're going to have to juggle some things as gracefully as you possibly can. So you started something, but at the same time you're ending something, and you may have then, right, if you have one plate and you're almost done with that plate, and then you have another plate and this one's full, you're going to have to carry both plates for a couple minutes. I don't know in what situation you would be doing that, but that's what I'm seeing. You're carrying this one, and you're just going to have to juggle both plates, and they may have different weights. One may be a beginning and one may be an ending. Maybe you're a waiter and you're both delivering a plate and taking one away, and there's a moment here where the juggle is a little bit intense. So you might have like just a moment in time where there's just a lot going on, a lot to handle. You can handle it. You can handle it. And maybe this thing is on pause because what you're handling right now is already plenty. And so the other thing needed to go on pause for a while you dealt with some other things. So you just have a lot on your plate right now. A new journey overlapping with an old journey, and just, or maybe, yeah, and it may not even be the same topic. It might be like, having to move out while also starting a new job. Like there's kind of like two ships. Yes, there are two ships in both of these. There's two ships sort of crossing paths, and there's something about having to handle both for a time. Possible outcome, this is going to be exhausting. You're going to want to quit. This is another card that really, I love how the Strength card showed up as overall for the reading, because it's required, and we have a requirement for emotional strength. We have a requirement for, sticking with things, even though there's just way too much on your plate right now. And then this is also needing strength as well. So yeah, you need strength because this whole situation requires strength. Nine of Wands, wounded warrior, tired, exhausted, want to quit, but you can't. So this is sort of acknowledging that you do have a lot going on. You have a lot on your plate. You may have some things overlapping for a period of time, it's going to be exhausting. You're going to keep going, but you're going to get like worn out and tired, and that's how that's going to be, worn out and tired. You may be thinking about, maybe this Hanged Man is about thinking about pausing something, thinking about, putting something on hold, wishing you could put something on hold for a while so that you can deal with all of this other stuff going on, and hoping, that, putting it on hold. I'm seeing like somebody putting a dish in the oven and holding it for dinner, hoping it doesn't dry out, hoping it doesn't get, gross while you're holding it over, right? So you could be thinking about hoping you could put something on pause. This is actually like, you can handle both things. You can handle this. You can handle everything that's going on. It's going to take a lot of strength. It will deplete you. You are going to be extremely exhausted at some point. And you are going to want to quit, but you will not be receiving your discharge papers. You're going to have to keep going. We have like 3-4 cards here of like, keep going. It is hard. There's an acknowledgement that this is difficult. This is draining. It is hard. You have a lot going on, but you do need to keep going. And none of these items do you get to quit at this point, but you are going to have to keep going. You are not happy about the situation. You're not happy about the situation. Right, because we have the Sun card, but you just have to keep going. And sometimes life delivers us those sorts of moments. It won't go on forever, but it will be depleting. So, all right, Virgo, if this happy festive reading resonated with you, join me over on Vimeo. Or if this is where I leave you, that's great. I'll see you guys in a couple weeks. Take care.